Ahoy, cruise enthusiasts, welcome back. I saw a question on Reddit about an apparent first-time cruiser who considers themselves an introvert, and they're kind of worried about their cruise experience. Well, here I am to tell you that you have nothing to worry about at all. Yes, believe it or not, I am, I guess, a classic introvert. I fit all the little check boxes and everything. I know what we do here, maybe it doesn't look like it, but yeah, absolutely. Everything you've heard, everything you've read about what an introvert really is, yeah, that definitely applies to me. But worry not. If you are feeling that way, you can still have a fantastic cruise experience. First of all, if you enjoy this kind of, just no-nonsense content, go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below, and hopefully, eventually, the like button. I'm not going to ask you to hit the bell. I don't do it for anybody, so you know what? You don't have to do it for me. All right, so introverts on a cruise. Well, just to catch everyone up, what is an introvert? Okay, so I asked our little chatbot friends, and they seem to agree. An introvert is someone who gains energy from solitude and internal reflection rather than from social interaction, yet can excel at performing, lead with clarity and depth, and deliver sharp, well-timed humor. Yes, that is pretty accurate. I am also my horoscope, by the way, in case anyone is interested in that. So, a cruise ship. Yes, there is a lot going on a cruise ship. I will not deny that. Depending on the cruise ship and the cruise line you go on, yes, there can be a lot. It can be overwhelming, but that's why a cruise ship is a great vacation for everybody, because there is something for everybody. Now, we're not going to really talk about the ultra luxury lines, which are a little bit different. We're just going to stick to the main cruise brands in this video. And what I'm going to do, I did one version of this. It turned out like 25 minutes long. So this will probably be the first in a series of 3 videos on this topic. All right, here we go. This video is basically, sadly, things to avoid on a cruise ship if you are an introvert, and some alternatives or some great ways to cope. All right, first, let's do this by characteristic of an introvert. All right. Thinks and processes internally before speaking. Yes, absolutely. Listen very intently to the conversation. Come up with, considered, well-reasoned responses, which is why shared dining is very stressful, because the conversation can move very quickly. I don't know that we really like to interject, which means it's a kind of a stressful situation. I have never felt very comfortable with shared dining, which is why I never do it. And the good news is you don't have to. I think people have this conception about the dining on a cruise, especially if you're traveling solo, that you have to share a table with 6 or 8 or 10 other people. That is absolutely not the case. Depending on the cruise line, this may or may not be easy to get around, but you definitely can. All right. So, number 1, choose anytime dining if that is possible. Then when you check in on the app, you just click 1 and tell them you don't want to share a table. I know Carnival does this. And you will wait. You will get your table assignment. It will be a 2-top, and you will be alone. Okay. Or you can go to, if you're doing freestyle on Norwegian, if you don't make a reservation, just go tell the hostess you are solo and you want a 2-top, and they will put you on the list for that. Another great option, go to specialty dining, right? So if you know you're an introvert, I'm going to guess that, yeah, you can afford some specialty dining. There's always availability for parties of 1 on a 2-top table in the specialty restaurants. The only time there might not be is the steakhouse on some cruise lines, but the alternative specialty restaurants, never had a problem. Just walk up and I am always seated immediately. So definitely take that option. Then, of course, there's always the buffet, right? You might have to walk around for a table or a booth or a stool or something like that. But there you go. You just seat yourself wherever there's space and wherever there's no one else. And then, of course, room service, right? Just order it. You might have to pay a fee, or if you bought into a package that includes it, there you go. You just have it delivered to your room and you would literally be eating alone, okay? Okay, next factor of an introvert. We prefer deep, meaningful connections over small talk. Yes, absolutely. This is why introverts tend to hate parties and socializing and everything. It's not that we don't like it. It's just not really our thing. So I would say, you know what? Avoid the mixers. especially if they're unhosted. Avoid the mixers for singles, solo cruisers, the LGBTQIAA++, even veterans and things like that, because they are basically just that. They are social chit-chat gatherings, and everybody just kind of starts talking to each other. And yeah, the exact kind of thing that everybody seems to know that introverts don't really like. However, oh, by the way, it is okay to do a drive-by, right? If you're interested in the crowd, right, see who might be part of the group, you might want to, introduce yourself later, definitely do a drive-by. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, there are a couple of instances where this is actually, it works out pretty well. NCL's solo activities are hosted, and that is a terrific icebreaker. You meet some people, you already have something in common to talk to about solo traveling and everything like that. So that works out really, really well. There's and MSC also is starting to do hosted solo meetups. I don't know if it's on every ship, but I have seen that several times on the calendar. Then there are enrichment things. It's something to do with, not necessarily with other people, but everyone's doing the same activity. So it's like kind of a community thing, be it origami, drawing, towel folding, all these kinds of things are a great way to, maybe, just do the same activity with some people without a lot of required interaction. So look for those on the schedule. And it's a great way to maybe make some cruise friends. Next thing. All right. Yes, introverts. We feel drained by crowds and high stimulation environments. Yes, the parties on a cruise ship can be a lot. They can be a lot. The parties in the atrium, in the promenade, by the pool, in the club, wherever. However, you can still attend from a nice, safe distance. If the party's by the pool or in the atrium, there's almost always a second level where you can simply view the party, view the festivities, without having to, get directly involved, or just hang out, by the window or, where all the chairs are and everything like that. Don't worry, no one will judge you. You can just hang out there with your drink or your snack or whatever it is and still enjoy the party, but you don't actually have to be in the fray. You don't have to be down there doing the warble or whatever, or the wobble or whatever it is. Nope, not at all. You can just do your own thing, and watch all the mayhem ensue. All right. All right. So we are, as introverts, often observant, reflective, and comfortable being alone. Yes. Solo travel. Not all solos are introverted, but a lot of them are, and that's fine. I don't mind solo travel at all. Kind of used to it at this point. Yes, still looking to change that, but you know what? We do what we have to do. So avoid the pool bar, right? Avoid the club. Avoid the main pool deck on a sea day because it will be crowded. There will be loud music. There will be lots of talking. There will be kids running around. There'll be all sorts of, mayhem everywhere. And definitely avoid the hot tub. Absolutely. It will be packed and people get carrying on about all sorts of nonsense. Definitely not for you. All right. Instead, right, wait for a port day. You can go hang out by the pool. Kind of the same stuff, but way more relaxed because everyone else is probably ashore. And yeah, you can have your nice pool day, and you know what? It can be actually kind of chill depending on where you are. Then there's always certain lounges, like the observation lounge on the Holland America ships or the Norwegian ships or some of the luxury cruise ships forward. A beautiful view. There's often snacks and a bar, so you have full service. And because it is an observation lounge, people are quiet, right? There's not a whole lot of loud stuff going on, and it's a nice place to just sit, relax, and take in the view. Even the outlook, the overlook on Icon of the Seas, the Icon class, beautiful place too. The library is another great place to just go and escape to, and some cruise ships have loungers and chairs out on the boat deck or the promenade where the life craft are. Right, I remember this. They were taking a nap in Alaska on Queen Elizabeth. Oh, that was amazing on a nice, cushy lounger. So yes, be on the lookout for those, and I guarantee you'll probably have the whole place to yourself. All right, next up. Oh, it's actually the last one. We're doing pretty good. We need solitude to recharge. Yes, this is why we sneak out of the party without really saying anything, right? Because it's just we're done. We don't want to deal with people anymore. We like people, but, in small doses, all right? No casino for you, right? Even though nobody talks in the casino, there's a lot of people around. There's a lot of activity, all right? Live entertainment can draw a crowd. It can often draw a very drunk crowd. And that might be something that, it's not very relaxing if you're, dodging drunks, listening to even what might be a very good band. And I will let you know that even some of the quiet spaces can have chatter. Okay, if it is a day to be in the observation lounge, transiting the Panama Canal, a glacier day, or the ship is just in some place that looks interesting to the outside, there can be a lot of people in there, and they will be talking. And maybe it's more than you want. Instead, your cabin. Oh, this. Here's the thing. This is the great thing about a cruise vacation. Your cabin, your space, is rarely more than 500 feet away. Right? You just bail from wherever you are. Head down, I don't know, take a nap, sit on the sofa, sit on your balcony, right? Or if you are in a premium space or the solo space, you might have your own lounge, the studio lounge, the top sail lounge, the Haven lounge. Great place to escape to. Well, I've never been in the Haven lounge, but I presume, right? Also, but put it this way, the observation lounge might still be a good place. Like, don't get me wrong. Go check that out first. The thermal suite, depending on the day, it's a great place to escape to, especially on a port day with everyone else off the ship. It is always very quiet in there. You might have the whole plunge pool to yourself. You might have all the aromatherapy rules, the steam room, the sauna, all to yourself for most of the day. So yeah, definitely check that out. And then, of course, if the ship has a library, that's almost always going to be very, very quiet. Nice place for a nap and to actually just recharge those batteries. Why do people say that? I never really understood. Anyway, okay, well, there you go. Things about being an introvert on a cruise, things to avoid, and some great alternatives for you. I hope you definitely check them out. And just so everybody knows, us introverts, we're not scared of people. We're not loners. We do like people most of the time, right? So it is all good. We just need some time to ourselves. And it's true. If you ever follow me around on a cruise ship, please don't do that. Or, well, actually, I don't really care. You will see me. I will go do something, and then I will go sit for a while. I'll go do something, and then I will just go sit for a while, right? Because it's not all activity all the time like it might appear in the vlogs. So yeah, it's totally fine. Think about a cruise ship, which is why it's a fantastic vacation for everybody. It is a nice, safe, it's a nicely curated, organized, predictable environment, and chaos to serenity is rarely more than an elevator ride away. So go ahead, hit that cruise ship. Go ahead, take a cruise ship, have fun, and you know what? Enjoy the cabin, but be sure to get out of the cabin.